So hello and welcome to the Lewis Nichols Show. This is kind of the big finale of our special episodes of Out of Time. Let's say hello, welcome back actually. Frankie's on the show again. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Really good, thanks. Good to get you back on. And Kerry, this is your third appearance while Jamie's only making his first. So it's good to have you back.
Not that I'm counting, but I have been on 3 times now.
I am.
Jamie, we saved the best till last. It's great to get you on. I mean,
I'll give you that 50 quid later.
You've heard my comments in regards to all of your performances, and I wanted to get you 3 together really because you're the family of this film. And what I love about the way you all perform together, it's like you've worked together for years. You know, when you see that chemistry on screen, you just assume you've worked together before. So starting with you, Jamie, how did your involvement in this film come about? Did you have to audition?
Yeah, just like everybody else. I mean, admittedly, I've known Kerry a long, long time. We've been friends for at least 18 years, right? I know it's hard to believe, but, it has been 18 years. I know I'm only up 21. But anyway, yeah, so I did. And actually, it's really funny because although we've known each other for 18 years, we went through a little period where we were in contact an awful lot, and we literally bumped into each other in a kids' trampoline park type thing over in Chester.
We didn't have any kids with us, it was just me and him on the shoulder.
Yeah. Easy. No, so she said, look, I'm writing this film, and I thought, oh, here we go again, Kerry's writing the film. And then she said, I think you'd be really, or you might be suitable for the part, give it a go, and whatever. So I said, okay, and I had my daughter and her mates with them, dragged them all to Kerry's house, and kind of just informally read for it at that point, and then Kerry says, oh my God, yeah, and I really liked from what I'd seen at that point, but that was just an informal thing between Kerry and I did then have to go through the whole formal audition process and meet Michelle, and Leon was working out of London, so the auditions were, recorded and sent to Leon for his approval, and then, there was a second reading, and then reading with other people, like any audition process, really. I thought I was going to get an easy ride because we were mates, but no, it didn't happen. And but anyway, I digress. I got the part. The right man was chosen, and everyone's success.
You know what? No, it was hard. The audition process was tough, wasn't it? It wasn't easy for anybody. And I think casting is one of the most important jobs on a film. You've got to get that casting right, because without that, the film would be a completely different other film. You've got to get that spot on. And the fact that we did know each other did help enormously, especially in those big kick-off scenes, because we were quite comfortable. Even then, on the top of Frodsham Hill, I did think he was going to chuck me off. At one point, when he came right close to me, I thought, oh my God, because he'd lost it that much. I could see in his eyes, his eyes went to the back of his head, and I thought, he's going to chuck me off the top of this hill.
Jamie, I do want to kind of go to the beginning for you, which is where your kind of journey into acting actually started. Is this something you've done for a long time? Like, how long have you worked in this industry?
It's something that, it's a lifelong passion, dream that I've had ever since Frankie's age. Younger than Frankie, probably around the same time as Frankie. I was the first kind of kid at my age who was allowed in the school play, just because I showed kind of this flair for it, if you like, and it just went ever since then, and involved in every single school play that I could. And then after school, I just started attending drama workshops, which then I met Kerry through a drama group in Liverpool. But yeah, I've done bits and pieces over the years. Nothing that has ever been able to to sustain or maintain as a full-time job. So I've always had to have jobs in between. I've been in the Royal Navy and things like that. And, you know, life happens, doesn't it? And then kids came along and all that stuff. And then a couple of years ago, you know, it's me and my daughter Poppy were caught up at the Manchester Arena terror attack, the Ariana Grande concert, and it gave me food for thought, really, to think, you know, life's really short, and I reassessed, and we were really fortunate enough to have been gifted some money, which then gave me the breathing space to be able to leave a job that I was in and go after acting on a more full-time basis, and you know, and thankfully, you know, the film came along, and the rest, as they say, is history and whatever. And I'm just hoping now to go from strength to strength, and you know, and I think the film's in a really good place. It's an amazing film for all of us, you know, and I can't speak for Kerry, and I'm sure she said this in previous episodes. It's also been a lifelong dream and passion of hers as well. And for me, it feels as though for both of us, the time is now, after a long time of working really hard.
I mean, you probably saw in the first episode we did of these interviews that I was such a fan of you know, all three of you, your performances, and especially, I mean, you played this character who's like I said, the most manliest man you can get. You know, he's doing cage fight and he's built like a brick, you know, and you just played it so well. And it's the scenes where you and Kerry, you know, when you first find out that Connor wants to transition, and that emotion from both of you. How many scenes did that take? Because it looked like something you had just filmed and it came naturally, like when the tears, the anger, everything.
The Frodsham Hill scene,
yeah,
which is the pivotal scene, isn't it? You know, and it's the what do they call it, Kerry?
Crescendo.
Yeah, the big kind of reveal, I think. Yeah, the crescendo, and actually. It was very emotional. It was because this film, it's you know, as you know, it's a feature film, and it was filmed in 10 days. Was it, Kerry? So whereas that scene on a normal Hollywood big budget film, that scene alone, you would probably have the luxury of a couple of days, I imagine. We had a couple of hours.
Well,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so we had to give it all, you know.
Sorry, Jamie, we were really nervous about that scene, super nervous. So we rehearsed it a lot together because we wanted to get it right so much. But until the day, I don't know where that emotion came from, but I think it's because we'd filmed quite a lot of the scenes, and we'd also fell in love with our gorgeous Frankie, who played Connor. We totally believed he was our daughter, our son in it. And then when it came to that scene, we were in it, wasn't we?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, and not that many people would know this, but I literally moved into Kerry's for the 2 weeks of filming. You know, I was there day and night, wasn't I? You know, Kerry was like my wife, basically, coming in and waking me up and opening the window, and you know, a real husband's in the other room thinking, you know, why is she going in, opening the window and kind of warming up a kettle for this other fella? No, seriously, I literally moved in, and we'd go home of a night and we'd analyse and dissect and we prepare for the next day, and we were just trying to use every single minute. And if I'm being completely honest, sometimes to the detriment of our real families, you know, because we were just so in the game, but because we had to be so focused for such a short, compact period of time, you know, we wanted to get it right, and I just hope that we have.
Yeah, there wasn't many chances to get it wrong, so we had to be short, sharp, and fast to get it all done, because the days were so long, and we literally only had the money for a 10-day shoot, even though the film took way longer in pre-production and post. Yeah. So it was a very short 10 days that we had, so we were all totally in it, because it was constant. It was like next scene, next scene, next scene, next scene. So it was good. It was good for that, wasn't it? You couldn't not be in the moment for that reason. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
You know, for someone watching the film, I mean, we, especially with Jamie as an actor, we see him kind of play this tough guy. He's just come out of prison, and you know, we see you play that until that scene then suddenly it's like, wow, he's not just that kind of actor who can play that part. He then comes with his performance. And then it's the same with you, Kerry. Like I said to you, I was so moved with that entire scene. And then you've got Frankie, you know, when he was in the tree. And it was just like magical to watch. And I think that was the moment, that one moment in the film, I was completely gripped. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. It was just one of the best pieces of a film I've seen. I mean, looking back, you all of you must be proud of that you all three of you had that chemistry to pull it off.
Definitely. It's the scene that we're most proud of, isn't it, Jamie? When we watch it together, we actually get chills. We go,
rewind it and watch it again.
Yeah.
But I think out of the whole film, I love the film. But seriously, that scene, to me, I can genuinely watch it and feel
it's not you.
Detached from it, as if I am genuinely watching someone else, because it's also down to Leon that as well, the cinematography and, you know, it was really technical, because, you know, he was, I don't know what the word is, but he was circulating round us, wasn't it, the way it's shot? But it was, anyway, I'm chatting rubbish. I know what I'm trying to say. I'm not a cinematographer, but I know what I'm trying to say.
I mean, you'll both agree. I mean, and I've said it to Frankie last week, that scene as well, I think, is what's going to catapult Frankie into something special, because for someone so young to be able to deliver that kind of performance, I mean, for both of you as adult actors, when you look at that performance, are you kind of like just blown out of your mind that he could pull that off?
Yeah, because I didn't think he was capable of it.
He's savage, isn't he, Frankie?
No, of course, mega proud.
From the very first audition, he completely floored me and Michelle. Frankie, he just immediately, the emotion was there on the very first audition. So we knew he would just go from strength to strength to strength. So he just got it. And we did mentioned this last week, didn't we? We done the swing scene as our very first scene. And from there on in, he felt like our son, honestly. He got it so well, he felt like our son.
And Frankie, I don't know if this has been mentioned before, he knew everyone's lines, not just his own. He knew every line from back to front, inside out. He was incredible. It was ridiculous, to be honest.
Very annoying.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. But I think I've bullied him enough tonight already, so I better...
Frankie, would you say, when you look at that scene that we're talking about, does that stand out as one of your personal favourites when you watch it back, in regards to you as an actor and what you were able to deliver?
Yeah, I really like that scene, and also that scene was really good as well, because that was like the turning point of the dad knowing, and the relief of me, Connor, and my mum.
Yeah, you could definitely see that as well. But I do want to ask before we've got some other guests that are going to come on in just a few moments. But what's next for you now, Jamie, in regards to you as an actor? Have you got some projects that you've got coming up that you're working on?
Yeah, well, you know, Kerry's got some things in the pipeline that I think, I'm hoping that my name's written on it. I think it might be, hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, I've had a couple of meetings and things this week about potential ideas. It's all, you know, I don't want to jinx anything really, because we have waited a couple of years now for this film to come out. So now, for me, if I'm being completely honest, and for the rest of us, I would imagine, it's kind of about hitting the ground running and, you know, striking while the iron's hot. And the film's really hot at the moment and everyone's loving it. So yeah, I think it's an opportunity for us all to use the film now while it's out to, you know, to move forward.
It's a great calling card to say, this is yours, this is what we do.
Yeah.
Look what we can do, especially from a production point of view. Look what we did with this amount of money. Imagine what we could do with X, Y, and Z money. So the next film has got so much in it. I don't even want to talk about it and spoil it at the moment, but it is called Hopeless. And it is going to be it's a beautiful piece. I wrote it a long time ago. It's my mum's favourite thing I've ever written. My mum absolutely loves it. She cries her eyes out every time.
Am I in that one, Kerry?
Well, if this is the one in which you find out that I'm wanting to be a woman.
Oh, tables turned.
Tables have turned.
I'm joking.
Hopefully, Frankie, you'll be back. We've got two guests that we're going to bring on now. We've got Chloe Knight that played the teacher in this film, and then we got Anthony Woodward, who was the estate agent. Am I right in saying that, Kerry? And
Yes, he played Richard.
and I know that you know, for you, this is such a big team effort. I mean, we've got you three are the main stars of the film, but I know for you, it was such a group effort, and you appreciate everyone's involvement in this.
Definitely, and Anthony was also part of the production because I've known Anthony a very, very long time. So we work on shows all the time. He's part of the production team on all the shows. So he came in at the very beginning as he's part of the production, but then ended up auditioning for this role of Richard. And he got down to the very last and he was like, Kerry, do you think so I said, because it was up to Leon at that point.
Yeah.
We just used to send the final three to Leon and then Leon had the final say. So that was exactly the same with Jamie. Me and Michelle picked the final three, but Frankie and Jamie were our favourites. And we were just praying that Leon would pick those guys as well. And weirdly enough, he did, with no influence from us. Frankie had it all day long.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, hopefully you should see
As well.
our guests here now, Anthony and Chloe. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello.
Hi.
It's like a little reunion for you all. So Anthony,
Okay, thanks for having us.
no, thank you so much. I mean, Kerry was just actually mentioning that you worked in the production side of things as well in this film. You weren't just an actor. So I wanted to talk about what was your involvement in regards to production? Like, what did you have to do? What was your role?
It was 5 o'clock start and 8 finishes. I just assisted Michelle. So anything
Oh,
to do. So whether it be picking people up, dropping people off, staying with little Frankie, just anything that they wanted me to do, I just did it. What was that?
Taking me shopping to Peacocks.
Oh, what? Yeah, taking Jamie shopping. He needed a bit of fashion advice. I was there.
Did you say shopping at Peacocks?
Yeah. Yeah.
We were on a budget, Lewis.
Yes.
budget, yeah.
Someone's just killed their manly image right there, straight away.
No, it was to be fair, it was the nearest shop. That was the only shop open at the time, so we had no choice. We had to go to Peacocks.
And you could get a hoodie for £1.50.
Yeah. Hey, a whole new wardrobe.
And obviously, people that are watching the film know you as playing the estate agent, and quite a different estate agent, it's fair to say, not your usual one. I mean, what did you think when you saw the part that you were going to play and the kind of character that he would be like? Were you excited for that? Is he?
Obviously. Sorry, what was that?
We got you back. In regards to the character that you played on the screen, the estate agent, what were your initial thoughts when you saw the character and what he was going to behave like? Because he's quite a funny estate agent, it's fair to say.
Yeah, well, Kerry obviously likes people's strengths and obviously saw something in me. Comedy's probably the best thing that I can play. I'm a comedy actor, and I don't know. Some of it was impromptu on the day. Kerry just went, "No, stop that, change it, do it like this," and then obviously it worked. It was my first proper job. That wasn't a supporting artist on camera. You know, like extra work, and I've done a lot of extra job on camera. So I was nervous, so I was just going to Leon and Michelle just guide me. Yeah, I can play these comedy, but not. I was just like, I was a mess, Kerry, wasn't I? It's like, worse was this.
Auntie, we're going to come back to you in just a moment. We're having signal issues with you there, so hopefully that will clear up in just a moment. But in the meantime, let's say hello to Chloe, that played, it's fair to say, a no-nonsense teacher. I mean, you had Frankie's back, Connor's back, sorry, throughout the entire film. So tell us about how you got the part and when you first saw the script, because it's such an amazing story. What were your thoughts when you saw, the story and your part?
Of course, but I was a tiny little part of the very big story that was told. But I suppose in the world of the characters, a teacher would be quite an important role in noticing these things, you'd hope anyway. But yeah, I mean, reading the script from the audition day, it's just such an amazing story, isn't it? It's to be told as well. It's important, I think. We all want to move people when we are in things, in telling stories, and yeah, I wanted to be involved, even though I'm a teeny tiny role.
How did you get that? Because I mean, in the school, you obviously had the classroom. They all had like a school uniform. Kerry, did you have to buy all of that? Did you have to like rent a school and then get a uniform just for the scenes that were in the school?
Yeah, we had to buy all the uniforms for all the children. Every single, I don't know how many costumes. I'm used to doing it because of the shows that we do. So I'm used to buying costumes in bulk all the time. You should see, I've got an office over there. It's ridiculous. If I showed you it, it's ridiculous. There's just rails upon rails upon rails of costumes. But yeah, we did. Everything Frankie bought, everything. You have to buy every prop, so yeah.
There's so much that goes into it, like a film that you just wouldn't know unless obviously talking to you now, that wouldn't even cross your mind. Chloe, what I wanted to talk to you about is obviously from this role, you've seen the reviews to this film. It's been incredible. It's been well received. Have you had people reach out to you with comments about the film and your involvement in it?
Not yet. Mainly probably on my part, that I'm not the best at social media. Lisa has been giving me a few tips. Just retweet. So it's probably partly my fault, and hopefully people will, because I'd love to chat to people who have. It's so interesting when you're in it, to then people watching it.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to see what different things people get from it, even family. I mean, there's a big message, but then there's lots of little things that come out for certain people, I think.
Yeah, like poor Jamie getting bombarded by the lollipop lady. You're absolutely terrified of her.
She's like that in real life. I can't move.
But it's so relatable. There's so many relatable characters, I think, to so many people.
I think that's what makes it, I think I said it last week, it's what makes it so different, because you've got moments of comedy, then you've got moments of pure emotion, and it's just a mixture. You don't know whether to kind of laugh, to cry, what to think, and I think that's what makes it so special. But for you, Chloe, apart from obviously that your involvement in the film, have you got any projects that you're working on? Have you got something coming up in the new year that you can tell us about?
I wish I could. Nothing at the moment. Just keeping chugging along.
You're keeping with Kerry. She's got loads of projects coming up.
Chloe, you have the most beautiful voice. I'm literally in awe. I feel like I'm talking to Mary Poppins. I'm not
Yeah.
Your vocals are so gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Hopefully, well.
And actually, what about you? Apart from obviously your involvement with this film, have you got any projects coming up? Because I mean, anyone that sees your performance, and like you said, the comedy side of it is incredible. So I'm assuming a lot of people are going to want to get in touch now about your comedy role, because you just played that. Like I said, it was a small part, but it was memorable, and you played it very well.
Well, thank you very much for that. No, I just work a lot with Kerry. And I'm enjoying everything I do. We do little sketches, we do little videos, we do plays. So, hopefully, some jobs will come off the back of about a time. But right now, I just enjoy, I do it for the love of it.
Yeah.
I do it for the love of it. I just enjoy any bit of acting that I get my hands on. I'll just do. I just love it.
Kerry, you remind me not to look at, but like Catherine Tate, in the sense where she can write incredible stuff, then she can perform in it, take the lead. Like you're this I knew I shouldn't have said it as soon as I mean, as a person.
I'm going to take that. Catherine Tate, she's like one of my idols.
The fact
you said to look at.
I mean, just the fact that, I mean, Anthony saying that he works you on sketches, it seems like you've got this creative mind. I mean, when you get an idea, is it a case of putting pen to paper? Do you record it on like a phone? If you've got, like, how does it all come about when you
I'm so old-fashioned. I have a pencil and a piece of paper everywhere. There's notes all over my house all the time. And then all of a sudden, all those little tiny notes all become something. So most of the stuff comes about 3 o'clock in the morning, don't know why. And so I'm busy, and normally I wake up in the morning and I've wrote all over different lines. Everything's like this because I've written when it's pitch black.
Yeah.
But no, I'm constantly, I think once you get the format of how to write, everything becomes a story. Every person that you meet, every character that you speak to on the phone, in a shop, wherever, everyone seems to just become a little piece. You think, oh, I love the way she did that. Oh, I love the way he did that. Oh, that was brilliant. The way he used his, I don't know, loads of like arm movement, everything. And years ago, because I was a dancer, that's where I originally started. I was a dancer that went around the world. I think because I worked in all nightclubs and clubs and pubs and in shows abroad, I think the characters I've created is a lot of people I've met along the way, you know, in the audiences, or like the hosts or comedians or whatever. All those people all have become characters that I now create.
Well, I'm really excited. I said, you know, I'm hoping this gets bigger and bigger like it is already. And you've had celebrities, you know, on board as well, sharing it, that have watched it. And I think they're all kind of the same as I was. You think, okay, I'm going to watch this, give it a go. You don't know what to expect. Then you watch it and then you can't stop talking about it. You can't stop kind of, and I tell you what I did want to actually mention to you is, I've obviously watched it 3 times now. And every time you watch it, you notice something different, or you notice something you didn't notice in the first time or the second time. And I think that's always a sign of a strong film, when every time you watch it, you notice something different, or you notice an emotion that you didn't see the first time.
Most definitely. But we really did work. Me and Michelle Billington, who was the producer on the show, worked so hard behind the scenes to literally make sure we nailed everything. Like everything was all. The prep was massive. The prep was, it was a 2-year prep for this film, because we knew we only had a short amount of money and a short window in which to film. So the prep was massive. Huge. And I think that finally you can say hard work pays off, because the amount of work that went into that film, and me and Michelle literally were side by side for 2 years, and you don't get paid for all the prep. You just, that's just work that you're doing because for the love of the job. So yeah, it was tough.
You don't want to talk about pay on my show, Kerry, because you know what happens with that. You'll be in the sun tomorrow. Well, I really hope you keep in touch and come on the show again, because, and I said the same to Leon, when I've watched this, I just know that I'm going to be a fan of the rest of the projects that you've got coming up going forward. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next. And same again, Frankie, I was talking to you before we come on. I'm really excited to see what's next from you, because for someone so young to be able to take such a big responsibility and then perform it the way you did. I mean, I'm sure Chloe and Anthony would agree. It was just amazing. So on behalf of everyone and myself, I just wish you best of luck with everything. And thanks for coming on the show twice.
Thank you.
And Kerry, thank you for coming on 3 times. Just saying it now, just for Jamie. But no, Jamie, you know from my first interview that we did on week 1 when we were talking about your performance, it was incredible. And again, I think this is going to go from strength to strength. The fact that you could play such a versatile character and have that raw emotion, but then have the tough guy part of it as well. So thank you so much for finally coming on.
Thank you.
Hopefully we're going to get you all back. And thank you so much to Chloe and Anthony for coming on as well.
Thank you.
Thank Thank you. So yeah, that's the end. That's the finale as such of our Out of Time special episode. Thank you all for coming on. And when you've got some solo projects or some different stuff, please get in touch and we'd love to get you back on the show.
And thank you for having so much
Thanks for
time.
having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said, yeah, thank you, Lewis, for all that time that you've given us. We really do appreciate that. It's really lovely of you to do that for us.
I'm going to miss our screen wars, the fact that we've tried to outdo each other on backgrounds. And then today, that you wouldn't have seen it, but Kerry tried to have like the White House in the background, but it did. The green screen didn't work, so it was just like broken bits of the White House.
Do you know, I've got a lake, and I was actually going to shoot it from a hot tub, and I thought that's a bit uncouth.
Oh, I've nearly
I don't think that
forgot.
was where.
Didn't you say before coming on you've got something to play us on the piano?
I have got something to play you on the piano. Holly will have to get the music sheet out for me though. 1 second.
I don't know if this is genuine, but apparently she has actually got something prepared for us.
I've been working on this all day to make sure I can play us out with a little tune. Lewis, how do you doubt?
You know, some people have pianos but don't play the piano.
Do you know what? Kerry will take absolutely any opportunity. Honestly, the piano. She will get where gas wouldn't.
Now, I've been working on this all day, so you better be grateful.
You're just...
That's all I can do. I can do.
Wait there, was that actually you?
That was Alexa.
That was, yeah, that was you.
Get back, boy!
Oh, wow! I can't. Look at Frankie's face.
Oh, she's like Liberace.
Next time I'll do Candle in the Wind.
Next time, doing
Yeah, you can
something
do
with sound would be really good. That's...